Hello guys, welcome back. It's Judas Gamer here, and we got scary Thanksgiving stories. So, further enough, we're gonna get into it, and hope you guys had a good day so far. Hope you guys had a good break, so called. I don't really get into Thanksgiving like that, but nevertheless, they uploaded a new horror video, so we're gonna get into it. And coming to think about it, I've been making these videos, right? And I was like, hold up, I do gameplays already, so I was thinking about doing horror gameplays, like scary games, and I just uploaded the game and I'm editing soon. So I'm gonna be consistent with these uploads, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I got my tripod and all that. I got everything that I need to have. So, in order for you to be an upcoming YouTuber, you have to be consistent. You can't lack on your videos. If you're gonna lack, then more likely people are not gonna like stop watching and stuff. Like you have to be on topic with your YouTube channel. You really do. So I wanted to make a quick announcement on that, and like I said, I want to make a quick announcement on basketball videos. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Us YouTubers, we busy too, just like you guys are. If you're a YouTuber, you have to always fit in a schedule and always like vlog and stuff like that. So some YouTubers they vlog and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you cannot sleep. You can't just sleep on your. And I'm gonna start making like. Cause at this thought, I'm gonna start making like inspiration videos, something like that. Inspiration videos, how-to videos, tutorials, on how to grow your channel. How to get your channel better. Because it's important. It's important for you. Whether it's gameplays or whatever, it's important. For another, let's get into it. And like, comment, and subscribe. Cause I keep it down, by the way. Right.
This story happened to me many years ago when I was about 12.
Okay.
My family went to Thanksgiving at my grandmother's house every single year. There was quite a few of us that would be there, and we would always watch football and have a big turkey. I remember this year, it was about 3 p.m. and it got kind of crowded inside my grandmother's house.
Right.
My younger brother and I decided to go outside and walk around. My grandmother had a pretty big property that had some woods on it on either side of the house.
Oh, nah.
She definitely lived...
That's a red flag right there. If it's woods, you live near woods, like nothingness, like, that's why they tell you don't go in the woods, but it's just a red flag. Miles and miles away from anybody hearing you. Like, nah. Like, yeah, the woods, but like, be careful. Like, it's the woods, wherever you at, especially in a bad area, but like the woods, isolation, nope.
More out in the country, so the houses were a lot farther apart. My younger brother and I just kind of walked around the yard. It had snowed a little bit, so the ground was a mix of white snow and the green grass. We ended up wandering off through the side woods a little bit, but then we noticed someone. There was a man standing there about 50 feet away. He looked to be fairly young, but was definitely an adult. He was wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants, which I found strange because it was pretty cold outside. When he noticed us, he waved. Then he called out hi to us in a friendly voice and began to walk over. When we got over to him, he introduced himself and said his name was Oscar. He told us he lived next door, and then pointed over. We could see a house through the trees that he was pointing at. He asked us what we were doing out here, and we told him that we were there for Thanksgiving. The three of us chatted for a couple of minutes about basic stuff, until finally I said we should get back. The man then told us he needed some help getting his new washing machine from his garage into his house, and asked us if we would help. I really didn't feel comfortable doing it, and I also didn't want to, so I told him I'm sorry, but no thanks. Then me and my brother started to walk away. The man said he understood, and then started to walk back up to his house. We went through the woods, which took us about 5 minutes to get back. When we had just about made it back, I was sure I heard someone walking behind us at a pretty far distance. I turned around, but I didn't see anything. My brother and I made it back inside just in time for dinner. As we sat down, our grandmother asked us how it was out in the yard. We told her how we had talked to the next-door neighbor. She looked surprised when we said this, and asked us which neighbor. We pointed in the direction and said the house next door. She told us that the house over there was vacant and nobody had lived there in about a year. When she said that, it gave me the chills. I was so glad I said no to helping the man.
That was gonna be your ass.
When I was a kid, we used to have the whole family over for Thanksgiving. One year, we were cleaning the house the night before Thanksgiving, and my parents were cooking some of the pies. It was a great smell throughout the house, but I was busy taking things from upstairs and putting them down in the basement so there would be more room for everyone up there. Our basement wasn't finished, but we had a lot of things down there, and even an area with a rug and a TV where we would play video games sometimes. My mom asked me to bring up a couple extra chairs that we also kept down there. I went to the back corner behind the stairs where they were. It was the creepiest part of the basement in my opinion because it was just way back and in the corner. As I reached a chair, I thought I heard a noise behind me. Then, about 6 feet to my right, next to a large box, I saw a person slowly crawl from behind the box to behind the refrigerator that was next to the stairs. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It looked like a man with long hair and baggy clothes. My first instinct was to run, but I knew that I would have to run past the man if I wanted to go back upstairs. So I did what the next best thing in my mind was, and that was to hide behind the chairs. I wanted to get back upstairs, but as far as I knew, the man was still behind the fridge. I waited there for what felt like an eternity.
He basically was blocking his entryway. But with basements, though, basements are just creepy in general, to be honest. But yeah, I wouldn't even go down there like that if it's creepy like that. You know, basements can be cool, but like if it's creepy, If I feel it's like it's creepy, then yeah. But other than that, though, nah. Like that's just out of pocket. Like look at that, that's just creepy. Like all that storage space, anybody can be hiding there. Anybody.
In reality, it was probably about 10 minutes. At last, I heard the door to upstairs open, and at first I was scared until I heard my mother call out asking to me what was taking so long. This made me feel a little more confident, so I walked out, and as I was talking to her, I said I would bring it right up. I grabbed the chairs and made my way upstairs, but to my surprise, when I got to the fridge, the man was gone. He must have somehow went somewhere else. I went back up the stairs, and as soon as I was completely up, I slammed the door shut and told my mom there was a man down there. When my dad heard this, he went downstairs to look around. He came back up about 5 minutes later saying there was nobody down there at all. I even went back down with him, and we couldn't find anyone. I felt crazy and as if I was imagining things. I thought maybe somehow the man had left, but I knew he wasn't down there anymore. I went to bed that night, still unsure of what had really happened. When I woke up on Thanksgiving morning, I went downstairs. I noticed I was the first one awake, so then I went to the basement door. When I did, I saw the door was wide open. The front door to our house was also unlocked. When my parents got up, we all went downstairs to look around and saw nothing. Whoever was down there must have left in the night, and I no longer felt crazy. I did, though, feel a lot more creeped out. But how they avoided us the first time we went down there, I will never know.
Story Club. Title.
This is the scariest and craziest thing to ever happen to me, and it happened on Thanksgiving. It was when I was about 18 or 19 years old, and my family was hosting Thanksgiving at our house. I would say in total there was about 15 people there, mostly my cousins, aunts, and uncles. We had lots of food, and it seemed to be another great Thanksgiving. By about 9 p.m., a few people had left and gone home, and I was sitting on the couch watching football. All of a sudden, out of nowhere,
Behind living room though. Look at that. That's a nice behind living room, I mean. Nice fireplace and all that, nice TV. Wow. So beautiful.
The power in our house went completely out, and everything was pitch black. It was strange because it wasn't storming or anything. Then we started hearing these loud bangs at the front door. It was pretty frightening, and I slowly got up and left the room to look out the window to the front door. There were several men standing there right at the front door, wearing all black with ski masks. As soon as I saw this, I immediately jumped back. Then they started banging on the door once again. My dad went towards the door, and when he saw the men, he ran to go get his gun. The banging got louder, and then one of the men ran over to the window and started banging on it. The rest of the people at our house all started going upstairs, and I know I heard someone say they were calling the police. My dad came back down and showed his gun in the window and yelled out he was about to shoot them all. I thought he was crazy for doing that, but it ended up working. The men all ran away, and within another 5 minutes, the cops had arrived. They stayed for a while, and eventually, my dad was able to get our generator working, which restored our power for the night. It turns out they had cut one of our power lines. It made for a crazy Thanksgiving night.
I knew it.
Many years ago, when I was a kid, I was going with my parents to my uncle's house for Thanksgiving. He lived in the city in a big neighborhood with lots of houses. I was probably about 7 or 8 at the time, and it was nice, but there wasn't really anyone else my age there, so I would get bored at family things. We got there and talked to everyone in the family that was there. I remember at one point, I was looking out the front window, and I saw a man walking down the street slowly and kind of looking at each house as he passed by.
Oh, nah.
Then about 30 minutes later, I saw him walk by again, this time in the other direction.
Nope.
Over the next hour or so, I saw him walk by several other times. He seemed to be just walking back and forth down the street, wandering around.
Sus.
Eventually, somebody else there
See, you already know something wrong with that because he's obviously scoping out the houses and stuff like that. That's sus. Oh, nah.
noticed and made a comment about it. Then he walked away once again, and I didn't see him for a while. Soon after that, it was time to eat, and afterwards, I went out to the yard to play football. It was just me playing football with myself because there were no other kids there, but I still liked to throw it around because my uncle had one of those mini trampolines. I would put it up against the fence as a target to throw at. I was practicing my throws when one of the balls bounced away to the side. When I went to get it, I saw it was next to a thick bush, and hiding in the bush was the bald man. I freaked out and ran all the way back inside, screaming. I ran to my parents and told them what had happened. They went outside, but the man was gone by then. My uncle looked around his yard, then walked up and down the street for a bit, but we figured the man had to be scared off. A few hours went by, and most people went home. It was just me and my parents and my aunt and uncle chatting in the kitchen. Then, out of nowhere, there was a knock at one of the back windows of my uncle's house. We looked just in time to see the man ducking down below the window. He then ran away. My uncle had had enough and he called the police. They showed up about 10 minutes later and were able to catch the man. He turned out to be on some sort of drugs and was walking around the neighborhood being creepy.
Nice kitchen, by the way. But yeah, I'm glad these stories, like, people had more sense, because in some stories I reacted to, they didn't have no sense at all. But yeah, that was gonna be his ass if he would have stood there longer. I'm telling you, they're the people you gotta watch out for. So basically, the moral of the story is be safe, guys. But hope you guys enjoyed it though. Ooh, I'm gonna edit the check. I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna edit and I'm gonna post this coming up soon. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.